Voices Latinas, 1610 AM.
Hi, welcome to Mediation Station. The number to call us during the show is 416-785-0680. Each week we explore topics and ideas related to the experience of people with conflict and look to promote the profession of conflict resolvers. We are available to connect with at greggf@primus.ca and 647-227-4734. Also, visit us at our Facebook page and Facebook group page and at soundcloud.com. You can check out past shows there. Thank you, Alexander, for doing the boards, and Sabrina for doing the video recording. Our topic tonight is called Decisions, Relationships, and Conflict. The Family Information and Mediation Program is available at each of the Family Law Information Centers located at family courts throughout Ontario. Information is available regarding separation, divorce, related family law issues, family justice services, options to going to court, including mediation, local community resources, and court processes, along with the forms to use when dealing with family law matters. There is also an advice council available for people to access for free legal advice on family law issues. Information and referral coordinators are available at the family courts to help you understand your needs and to make referrals to appropriate services in the family court system and in the community. They can give you information about family mediation and other options to deal with your matters, so you do not need to go to court or need to hire a lawyer. There are family information and mediation programs located at all three family courts in Toronto. The programs are called Mediate 393, located at 393 University Avenue, Mediate 311, located at 311 Jarvis Street, and Mediate 47, located at 47 Shepherd Avenue East. The office hours vary at each location from Monday to Friday. The best thing to do is to call for more information at 416-593-5393 or email info@mediate393.ca or visit the website at www.mediate393.ca. The Toronto Resource Centre for Peaceful Conflict Resolution is an opportunity to check out a whole series of information that is posted there by the webmaster, Eva Rosenbaum. And the website aims to promote values, ideas, and methods of nonviolent communication and peaceful conflict resolution worldwide, and to provide information about related resources available locally to Greater Toronto Area residents. The web address is www.pcrtoronto.org. Each week here at San Lorenzo at 22 Winderley Drive, we have the San Lorenzo Community Mediation Program on Mondays from 5 to 7 p.m. It's an opportunity to connect with an experience that you're going through, whether in the family, in the workplace, in the community, some kind of relationship. You're struggling, what to do about it, you don't know. So you come have a private and confidential and free conversation. Work together to strategize how to deal with things and hopefully create some positive change. So you can come here, you can check out at greggf@primus.ca or give a call at 647-227-4734. The Raffle of Hope is coming up. It's in support of projects of the Caravan of Hope. The draw will take place on June 22nd at the Inti Festival, which is the Saturday and Sunday, 21st, 22nd of June at Christie Pitts Park, just outside the Christie subway station. And it's an all-day event each day, 12 to 10 on Saturday, 12 to 9 on Sunday. There's music, entertainment, food, and you can win one of the prizes. First prize is a 2013 car.
Nice.
Yeah. So tickets are $10 as a donation. Check it out. You can come here to San Lorenzo at 22 Winderley Drive each week, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can take a ticket up and put down to attend the Inti Raymi on the 21st and 22nd. Also, Healthy Minds Canada is looking to raise money to develop a fun, scenario-based app about bullying. designed to improve and measure empathy while teaching coping and preventative skills to young people ages 9 to 16. So check out their website at healthymindscanada.ca and see about supporting the creation of the app. Two people to promote. One person, his name is Dave Hilton, and he's in Texas. And he's the Conflict Specialist Show, which is a web-based television show. Each week he discusses topics related to dispute resolution, conflict management, mediation, and you can access him at www.conflictshow.com on the web. And the other person too is in Texas. Her name is Patty Porter, and she's the Texas Conflict Coach. And she has a live radio blog each Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Toronto time. And she can be accessed at www.texasconflictcoach.com. I think I got through all that stuff. So how you doing? What? Hey you, wake up, come on. Brian J.
Hey, how are you doing this evening, Greg? I'm awesome.
You're awesome.
Yes, I think it was a new record getting down here from Newmarket. I think I just shaved off a few minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't even need radar.
No? Maybe I hear sirens. Did you have anybody tailing you?
No. No.
OPP maybe, or
No.
York Regional Police?
Yeah, it would have been York Region at first, and then OPP because it's a 4. It'd be the 404. So no, actually I did quite well.
Yeah.
You know, you got to blend with the crowd, right? You don't separate yourself too much from everyone else. I'm not teaching everyone how to speed.
No, we're not promoting illegal activities here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm not being heard, so I'm going to pick another microphone.
Really? I hear you. Is there an audio issue?
Perhaps. But I'll just keep talking.
Keep talking.
I think it'd be even more fun if only you were heard right now, because then you're having a one-way conversation and freaking everyone else out. Nope, I'm good to go. Alexander's giving me the thumbs up, so.
Yeah, I can hear him, so I believe he's in the system. He's up, yeah. Maybe
Okay.
those headphones aren't
Yeah,
working.
the headphones might be the issue.
Yeah.
All right. I know what to bring in next time I come. New set of headphones for Alexander.
Well, she uses the ones from here, so it's okay.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's BYOB, man. Or BYOS. Bring your own stuff.
Well, yeah. So, this is a new thing for us. We're video recording the show.
Could you give a guy heads up, please? Good gravy. It's just as well I managed to bring something clean. My goodness.
Yeah, I realized. I forgot that.
You've been threatening for months now.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that it was, something would fall through, but no. Yeah,
What do you want, a makeup artist or something?
No.
Somebody to do your hair?
No, but I mean now I've got to be even more disciplined than usual.
No, just forget about it. Just in the background. It's
Just
wallpaper.
ignore the wonderful woman in the corner with the gadget in front of her.
Yeah, no, it's just the camera. It can always be edited.
Promises.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get this all organized properly.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a learning curve. And
Yes.
Getting it organized, getting a system in place, and then hopefully getting it out to the public for.
I will jump on Facebook myself and tell all my followers, all 3, 4, 5 of them, that they can see me in all my glory, in the flesh, as it were.
Yeah.
And where to go. So
They can actually see the body behind the voice.
oh God, there's far too much of that body as it is. That's a whole other story.
Well, I told you we can edit.
Can you shave off? Oh, that'd be awesome.
Maybe we can superimpose another body on your face. Is that possible? Yeah, we can do. Try and do magic.
Chris Brown, he's in trouble enough as it is, so he won't mind. Alexander's like, he's all over that. I love it.
So tonight, we're talking together.
Yes.
Each of us together. No guest. Nobody between us. No sandwich.
Nope.
Decisions, relationships, and conflict. Yeah.
Can I just say,
yeah.
I'm going to embarrass you again here, just giving you a heads up. So Greg sends me the email, lets me know that unfortunately we won't have guests tonight, which is, it's bittersweet because it's great to meet someone, it's great to get information. It's part of the fun of the show for me is to meet someone and find out what it is that drives them and learn more about them with regards to conflict. That said, I love having this guy all to myself on the show, and every so often we do get the odd show where we do it ourselves. So he says, send me some ideas, just tosses it out there. Of course, he's the expert. He's the guy who's been doing it nonstop for 9+ years. He's telling me, send him a subject. Like he doesn't have a half dozen just floating around in his brain. All right, so I figure, I don't want it to be, am I allowed to say B-I-T-C-H?
You just said it.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I don't like it.
Leave it at that level.
I've got a couple of young boys, so if I start spelling out words, you'll know why. So I'm determined not to make it a BITCH session, which is another reason why I don't why I don't do my blog much anymore, because it was just gripe. It's also the reason I'm not on Facebook anymore, but that's a whole other story. So I'm thinking, well, what is, what kind of ideas, what's griping me? And I'm thinking, relationships and so of course, what do? I just send Gregg, too many people trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's putting pressure on their lives, putting pressure on themselves, and puts them into circumstances of potential conflict. Mm-hmm. So of course Gregg says, I blather on about
what are you
this
trying to focus on?
Exactly. So of course he says, well, I need something more concise. And I'm like, please, I laid it on a plate, man.
I need a direction.
All right, so I turn it in a slight direction. And what happens, of course, a day later, I get 12 wonderful questions from Mr. Fenton, as if I was ever worried that he wouldn't take it and run away with it completely. So the show's covered. I'm just going to be here for, I don't know, comic relief, I suppose. But anyway, looking forward to it.
What do you mean? You've exhausted all that you're going to say through this rant?
What rant? We're just talking.
Coming after the break, you'll be like doing mime work?
You can read some more posts. No, actually, what I'm saying is that this is why I admire Gregg for what he's done all these years, is that he's able to keep things fresh every week. And it's part of the fun of being here as a co-host.
All right. Let me get the Kleenex.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we got to take a break while you gather your emotions.
All right.
You're listening to the Mediation Station on CHHA 1610 AM, Voces Latinas. Welcome back to the program tonight, Mediation Station, and Brian and Jay and I are here talking about decisions, relationships, and conflict. So we gave people some idea where this concept came from.
Yes.
For tonight. I mean, the idea was to have a guest, and I was trying to work on that till the last 11th hour, and that person couldn't make it because, not because they didn't want to, they just need authorization from, it's a administrative bureaucracy thing. I can't be more specific because I've only been working on it for 3 months, and they still couldn't come up with a, That's why I always like the face-to-face. It's just so much in the moment.
Yes,
direct.
Absolutely.
You can get the outcomes you want by working together with people instead of going through layers.
Well, yes, and it's a little bit harder for someone to be opaque if they're staring you in the face.
Yeah, so the thing is that it's still in the works to get that final approval, and when it comes in, then we'll have to figure out a specific date for that person, because otherwise, if I schedule another date, that date might come and pass too, because we never know when we're going to get a final, hopefully affirmative answer. So that's the reality too of trying to work every week and get certain people.
It's all very intriguing, Gregg. We're all just sort of sitting here just wanting to know more.
I can't.
I know. You'll have to let us know as it goes.
Well, all right.
We're rooting for you.
Okay, thanks very much. I think ultimately the outcome will be positive.
Excellent.
So, in terms of tonight, decisions, relationships, and conflict, what difference does it make on being focused to get what you want out of life?
Well, I'll speak for myself. There is not to get further into trouble. I find I have enough experience in my life that if I don't think about what it is that I want to do, whether it's what I want out of life, what I want out of a particular circumstance or experience or event, then, and this is interesting because we talked about this not more than, I'd say, 10 weeks ago with one of our guests. the focus changes in terms of the outcome. If you aren't putting as much effort into it in terms of the decision making, then you are at sea, if you will. You become at risk of taking on all sorts of other circumstances, instances. You're at the mercy of others if you're not the one who's essentially, forgive me, driving your own boat, if you will. It was when we had some of the group from
the project, turning things around?
From Turning Things Around, we were talking about the exact same thing. If you're not willing to drive your own bus, and you'll find, I speak in allegory, if you're not willing to try, Greg's like, yeah, you do tend to bring that out all in. If you're not willing to drive your own bus, then you're at the mercy of others, and then you really can't blame anyone else for things not working out the way you want them to.
Well, having ownership of your ability to make your own decisions.
Yes.
I mean, that's the true sense of being connected with what you want and what you get.
And really, no one should know more about what you want, or preferably what's in your best interest, than you.
You would think, though.
It sounds so straightforward, but there are a lot of us that we're willing, maybe not all the time, but in circumstances we're willing to let somebody else make those decisions. Maybe it is a difficult decision. Maybe you don't even want to be willing to pin the blame, if you will, on yourself if it doesn't work out the way you would like it to. So it becomes very easy to let someone else take on that responsibility, take on that stress, take on all of that in that one moment. And then if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, well, it's not my fault. Maybe somebody
But
else's.
our culture is just so set that we give ownership up for basically our decision making to others.
Far too easily.
So, I mean, whether it's within the family or the systems, whether it's justice, civil, family, they're all structured in our society for people to allow someone else to make decisions for us, especially the ones that impact us the closest.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and how effective is that to have people have ownership over us?
Well, you don't want to go through life thinking it's not my fault. I think the more we get comfortable with taking on our own decisions and let them go, good or bad, the results, I think it's better for us overall. Personally, I'm trying harder every time, at every moment, to take on the responsibilities, and not just for myself, but as Brian the husband, as Brian the dad, to take on those responsibilities, so that if it does fall back on me, so be it. I don't have a desk, so I don't have a place to put the buck stops here plaque, but I'd like that to be, that I find that I'm more at peace, because if it does fall to me, then I know who to start with to rectify. It's not, oh, but, and I'm pointing over at somebody else who made a decision on our behalf. It's no, it was my call. If it's good, great. Pass the chips around, hooray, celebrate. If it's bad, so be it. I'll live with the consequences either way. And it is interesting. I do find it's getting harder to fight for that right to look after yourself in many ways.
To have a voice for yourself?
I think so, yeah.
Not only a voice, though, it's an ability to contribute to the decisions that affect your own life.
Absolutely.
So how do you determine if you're focused on getting what you want?
I think you understand the full process, whatever it is that you want. A particular course at school, or an increase in your salary, or something.
Or to get involved in something, or to pursue a certain career path, or take a course, or whatever. Right?
Absolutely. I think if you're able to sort of, even from, it's, sorry if it's going to sound cliche, but I think if you're able to do where you are as A, where you want to go as B, and look at that path and see what it is that you need to do in order to get there, then you're halfway there, I think, because then at least you're taking responsibility, you're taking ownership of the process, whatever that process might be. And as I said, it could be anything. New car, new job, upgrade in salary, something, anything. But if you feel that whatever that thing is somehow some way to improve yourself, improve your health, improve your status, improve your life, improve your lifestyle, improve your relationships, then by all means, take full charge of it. I don't know that you really want to leave it in the hands of someone else. In fact, that's why, and interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was going to say quickly, as those of us involved in conflict resolution, that's why when people turn to us, it really is one step away from the ultimate, either bringing in the authorities or other groups, is because people realize that these are the steps that need to be taken. We have one last chance, if you will, to have ownership over the resolution of this conflict. So it's funny that number of people that have come to us and have have dealt with the dispute to some extent. They've pushed away, and it's only now they realize, well, we still need ownership of it. Whatever else we've done hasn't worked. We need to take ownership of this dispute and be able to resolve it in the best way we can. And thankfully, professionals like yourself get called in, back in the day when I was, that would be able to come and help in what way we could. And of course, it was never to take charge of the resolution, but just to advise and guide. If even that is just to be as passive as possible and let them drive the bus towards solving that particular conflict. But it's funny, how long have we had it where we would run into people who were just completely unaware that they could actually have ownership. They had ownership of the conflict, but they didn't realize that they could take ownership of the resolution.
No, I would say they don't necessarily take ownership of their own responsibility or their contribution to
the conflict.
the conflict. Usually they're coming into it blaming the other person, and they want the other person to be punished and everything imposed on the other person. And they even come into the process, and that's the expectation of a mediator, is to impose on somebody else, because that's the traditional model
Yes.
of our system. It's punitive. It's where a third party decides for you.
Yes.
And puts that. So you present your position, and the other side's imposed with an outcome.
But it's so wonderful to see the light bulb come on when those people in conflict come to the realization that no, you not only own the conflict, you own the solution, the potential solution to the conflict you have. It's right there if you are willing to take it on.
And that's for me, probably the most powerful part.
Exactly.
Where people can actually create their own outcomes.
Yep.
So we'll talk more about that after the break.
Yes, because it's such a foreign concept because of the world, in many ways, in the world in which we live right now, sadly.
Yep.
Please.
Okay, you're listening to Mediation Station on CHHA, 1610 AM. Yeah, Voces Latinas. It's okay. Go ahead with it.
Jerry Doucette, Mama Let Him Play. Some Canadian content on our show. Awesome. And welcome back to Mediation Station.
So that was the low-key music, right?
Low-key?
Low-key, yeah. Keeps the energy down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh yeah.
Ryan, get off the wall.
There are four of us within the studio. There are four of us, and I was just thinking: drums, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass. We got it covered.
Done.
We just got to work out the vocals.
Well, you're not going to look at me.
No one's looking at me. I'm having a hard time making eye contact all of a sudden as soon as I said vocals. I don't know what that's about.
Well, we're talking about decisions, relationships, and conflict tonight. The two of us.
Well, I hope I didn't bring conflict by suggesting we create our own garage band. Come on now.
What would we call it? Mediation Station.
Rocks the nation.
Rocks the nation. Good. We'll talk about that more after we get off air.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, why do some people seem to always be involved in conflict?
Well, I know why you are. It's because it's your job. But for the rest of us,
What do you mean by that?
you're a mediator. You're supposed to deal with conflict. People bring conflicts to you, Greg.
Yeah, that's
That was cheeky. That was, you noticed, the tongue-in-cheek, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people are they're not willing to face the decisions that they make that lead to conflict.
Or that create conflict or cause conflict?
Some people might like a little drama in their life, sadly. I think it's a matter of taking ownership of your decisions and recognizing that your decisions affect others, which is something else we'll talk about shortly, and being able to appreciate that we don't live in silos, we don't live all by ourselves, and it would be a sad world if that were the case. So the decisions that we do make, invariably they will impact on other people, and there are some of us that sadly don't take that into consideration, so we find ourselves making the same decisions because they may feel good to us, the consequences may work in our favor in the short term, but we're not willing to appreciate that those same decisions will affect others in a negative capacity.
Well, people are just looking through their own point of view, their own perspective. There's
Yes.
no consideration for other, or that there may be something else going on. People communicate in a certain way. It's all about me, and it's not about us. It's about me and I, not us and we.
Yes.
And there's no consideration for how it may affect or impact another person. There's no inclusion. There's no mutuality about it.
Sadly. And unfortunately, in some ways, it's being reinforced, the notion that the I is far more important than we. It's only brought up every so often if, I don't know, someone's trying to sell us something on TV or what have you. I told you I wasn't going to get into the griping. But
That's where this came from.
yes, yes, indeed. But I think ultimately, if we can all be willing to take responsibility for ourselves first and foremost, and then one of the first things we realize is, well, how is it that myself and my actions affect others, then we are taking resposibility for
But that's a nice ideal. It doesn't happen though, a lot of the times.
I know, and then
That's
I
why
wake up in the more and it's like, oh, geez, that was such a nice dream. But
I mean, that's the magic where you want to go or be. That's not the reality of what is.
actually, I think it's been syndicated it's been copywritten by Disney anyway, so we're.
Oh. Hey, you're trying to create some extra conflict for us here?
Not at all. There's a very large man with a black suit in the door.
Really?
I think I said the wrong word. I would like.
We can work our way out of it.
I hope so, because I would like to be in the show again in 2 weeks' time. But if I'm not, you'll know why.
Well, actually, next week we don't have a show.
No.
We're preempted for something else, elections.
On Dad's Day. What up with that?
Well, just so happens, and then in 2 weeks we're preempted again because that's Inti Raymi. So,
We're not doing it live from there?
no,
Oh.
no. They just assign segments, hour time frames where you can go in and talk about promoting the event itself.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then, so we'll return again after tonight on the 29th.
Just as well there are 5 Sundays in a month. Good gravy.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a bonus month.
Indeed.
Yeah. So the thing is with the ideal, it's nice to talk about what you would like. The reality is that most people figure out that there's no consideration for others. Relationships, well, okay, they talk from their own perspective. It has consequences and impacts on somebody else. And we're not necessarily prepared for the reaction
Mm-hmm.
that generally happens. It affects the relationship, trust happens, or breaks down. Communication breaks down, and then people go, separate paths some way.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I have to admit, from my own personal perspective, being it'll be our 13th anniversary in a couple of weeks' time, and it's allowed me to realize that gone are the days where it was just Brian, and me alone. I do find myself, I have to remind myself.
This is
from time to
13
time-
years of the light bulb went off.
Bears. I realized
This
it
is somebody
sooner
else's
than
part
that.
of your relationship.
Yeah, she's been there. Yeah, exactly.
Boy, where's that voice coming from? Is that your conscience, Brian?
That was exactly that was filling in for my conscience.
Wow.
Thank you.
You can do another voice with your conscience.
Skills to pay the bills, and but it's it's helped me realize that there is life beyond B, and that it's important. And I've been doing it for more than 13 years. Thank you very much. But it's been a wonderful experience. The return on the investment has been awesome. That's all I got to say about that. So, but it doesn't have
If
to
we
be.
got that other person as part of your partnership on here, might she say something else?
Would she back me up?
Would she back you up? Yeah.
I would hope so, because I can't pay her off.
Well, the thing is, though, you're not supposed to be mimicking each other anyways. You're
No,
not
no,
supposed
no.
to be identical. That would be so boring. You're supposed to be different. That's what complements relationships.
And compliment is the best word for it, absolutely. And also consideration, and not just in terms of taking her into consideration. So we have 2 kids, and they are a handful. So it's every so often we will be willing to fob them off on each other so that the other one can get a bit of a break. Wonder of wonders. I mean, just more stuff. We talked to Alexander about that, but just the stuff they never handed out at the hospital when they gave us when they tucked them under our arms. But yeah, they are 24/7, and and we are going to need a break from them.
Well,
It's not a bad thing.
I found this article that talks about 10 questions to ask before getting married.
Bring them on.
I don't think there's in any particular order. Of course, they're numbered. Do we care about each other as good friends do? When you're getting serious about someone, don't ask, are we in love? The question to first ask instead is, are we becoming good friends? Any comments?
Absolutely. I'm old-fashioned, so absolutely I would say you're life partners. It sounds cliched, but that's exactly it, and you need to take that concept into consideration. You should be friends. And then it's going to sound cheesy, we got married to sort of keep our parents off our backs because we were already life partners. It was just all right, find a place, get married, do it, all right, fine. It was just a nice little celebration. We would have been, but yes, absolutely.
Just to say, this is on the internet, 10 questions to ask before getting married. The author is Rabbi Dov Heller. And number 2, are we emotionally honest and vulnerable with each other? Are you transparent? Do you open, honest? Do you reveal? Do you share? Do you keep it inside?
Yes, all of the above. but over time, there's more sharing than hiding, as there should be. You have to be willing to open yourself up to someone, and it's incredible the number of us that aren't, sadly.
2 people who cannot be emotionally open with each other can never have true intimacy and love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the quote from the author. When we share our feelings with another, we connect and feel close to that person. Yeah.
I agree. Thanks, Rabbi.
All right. So let's go for the break, and we'll come back and we'll talk more. You're listening to Mediation Station on CHHA 1610 AM. Voces Latinas. Yeah.
Welcome back to Mediation Station. More Canadiana. To Hope For, performed by Lisa Fina.
Yeah. Local talent.
Yeah.
Yes, that's part of the mandate here at Voces Latinas to
Wherever
play
possible.
local talent.
The album is called The Barber's Daughter.
Yes. So
We've had tunes from her before. She's got a great sound.
Yeah, she's a hairstylist in Toronto.
There we go.
Yeah,
She's the barber's daughter.
that's what they say. Yeah, so we are talking about decisions, relationships, and conflict, and I was bringing to light about an article I saw. 10 questions to ask before getting married. Gone through a couple of them, and one of the other ones is, do we consistently reach win-win resolutions to our problems? You know, what do we need, a mediator in our relationships?
I think if you are going to, not as much I think, my own belief is that you need to be willing to concede a bit of ground sometimes in order to reach that win-win. Sadly, it's reinforced a lot in our society in many ways that you have to win, and if you don't win, you're a loser, and nobody wants to be a loser. But sometimes compromise is what's necessary, and sometimes just conceding. And that's not to keep your missus happy. Guys, don't get all over that. Sometimes you have to be willing to look at what's taking place and realize that you may not be in the right, you may not be in the best position. It may be in your own best interest to concede or to at least have a look at it again. And if you can reach that compromise where you do get a win-win, absolutely.
Well, the author writes, problems that don't get fully resolved turn into resentments. And when resentments build, love departs. The problem is not the problem. The communication about the problem is the problem. Yeah. Other things, do we take care of each other's needs? Do we admire and respect each other? For the man, are you ready to take responsibility for a wife and family?
Oops, sorry.
For the
I've already spoken about it, so you know my answer is. Come on now.
For the woman, do you believe in him? Do I trust this person completely? Do we want the same things out of life? And the last, do I have peace of mind about the decision? To have peace of mind, you have to identify and resolve the things that bother you about getting married or about marrying this person. To identify everything that bothers you, you must be ruthlessly honest with yourself and listen to your feelings. If you don't have peace of mind about marrying this person, track down the reason. If you are diligent, you'll discover the reason why you are dragging your feet. And if you can't track it down through your own efforts, see a competent therapist to help you. Or tune into Mediation Station.
There we go.
Forgot that part.
We're full service here.
Yeah, it's a free and confidential service, except, well, actually, you come on air. You don't have to give your name.
Yep.
So we do encourage, it's a spoken word, call in if you want. So in terms of people, decision-making, conflict, what's needed in order to have people change in relating to others?
I believe perspective, what you're looking for in your own life, what you consider to be satisfaction, and what steps you need to take in order to get there.
I would even say, do people even know what satisfies them?
Well, there it is. Very good.
I mean, that might be an issue.
It's too easy to allow ourselves to be distracted because then we don't have to face what the trouble, whatever that might be, in our lives. So maybe you do need to wash away the distractions so you can take that quiet moment, that calm moment, to see what it is about life you like, what you don't like, and what changes you may have to make.
Right, and if you're in a relationship, you're going to have to factor in the other person. You're going to have conversation. You've got to communicate. You've got to be open, transparent. You got to share.
Yes.
It's all the stuff we ask people to do when they go, come into a process like mediation.
Yes.
To be open, to share. It's not talking only about yourself. It's, you got to communicate with the other person. They got to be able to hear and connect with your experiences and your feelings, and vice versa as well.
Which is why I've always found it so fascinating that when we are undertaking a mediation, the number of times people, again, the light bulb comes on. People don't realize that, oh, wait, I actually have to open myself up. I have to be willing to share. I have to be willing to understand the other person's perspective and not, as we were saying before, just get down to blame. If you can do that, if you can get to that, if you can make that small step, and sometimes it's a great step, you are well on your way towards finding a solution to conflict, and in some cases, and beyond that, in a greater picture for your life, find out what it is that satisfies you, and therefore you're well on your way towards perhaps attaining that.
Yeah, that means the big concept that I don't think enough people acknowledge, which is consideration. It's not only about yourself, it's about someone else as well, as part of that package of whether you have a relationship in your family, with your neighbor, in the workplace. It's consideration for someone else. It's not all about me. You don't walk in a silo and do your own thing.
No.
So we gotta cut it out for tonight.
Oh my.
And want to say good night?
Good night. Get ready for bed, boys. Daddy's coming home.
All right, we're gonna chill out and say thanks to both of our team members here.
Yes. Alexander and Sabrina did
Yeah.
a wonderful job.
Appreciate it. Tune in next time. Have a good night. Sometime see you, Mom and Daisy.